And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 42, the second edition of the year of 2024. It is great to be back here. Of course, I'm your host, Live VIP, and with me, I am joined by the lovely people in the chat, by these amazing players, and of course, my plushies as well. Welcome to our weekly dose of Open Tuna Cup StarCraft. What does that mean? Well, this is our weekly event that we do host here every single Sunday, and it is open to all. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. Again, the bracket, it's big, it's huge, it's massive. It is full of quality players as well, and that is what matters most. And here we go, we're getting into game number 1, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Protoss player representing Psystorm Gaming. It is MindelVK. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the purple Zerg player from the land of Costa Rica, representing Team License to Kill, LTK. It is EON. Let's go. A bit of a ZVB to kick things off. And again, EON is a very special kind of player. He's one of the most aggressive, cheesiest players in all of the Americas. And we are fanning out and sending a drone towards the top right. The hell is going on? Oh, going for a ninja base? Okay, interesting. So EON popping off already with a bit of a ninja base towards the top right hand corner of the map. Interesting choice. Opening up double gas as well. Okay, so it's gonna be a hatch, double gas into pool. This should be roaches, but I'm confused about the proxy. Okay, well, we do see MindelVK coming in for the scout. He does confirm both gases have been taken. He's aware of at least part of the build. Is going to confirm now the later spawning pool as well. And honestly, what should be happening right now for MindelVK is he should be scratching his head. He should be like, wait, what? Is this like, this should be like a one-base roach all in, which is what he's going to be getting ready for, but alas, it's something a little bit different. But at the same time, I'm still not entirely convinced that the ninja base was necessary. I mean, it is ideally forcing an overreaction out of the Protoss and forcing some confusion, but it's still going to be an all-in anyway. Like, we're not macroing from here. Like, that's not going to be the plan, right? Where is it? We are pulled a little bit out of gas. A probe is going to be coming in for follow-up scouts. Okay, actually, what I like about this, if we do throw down a Roach Warren, I like the idea of hiding it, actually. I like the idea of hiding the Roach Warren at the proxy location. That would be interesting. Okay, you have my attention. Link speed is on the way. We're still mining gas, by the way, so this could still lead into a Bane bust. So a Ling Flood Bane bust here from EON. Maybe the Baneley Nest would be proxied. Likewise, Roaches could be on the way as well if we do pull back into gas, and we are now saturating that gas geyser as we speak. Things moving out. MindelVK opening up standard. It was a gate expand into the Cyber Core. We have Warp Gate on the way. We went Stalker first instead of Adept, which is interesting. We are going to be fully walling off at that natural. Queens are on the way. We did produce some drones here at the proxy location. And we're expanding? Wait, what? We're expanding. We're trying to play into a more standard game. I mean, the earlier gases is still troubling to me, and that is quite a lot of gas early on. But yeah, we're either going to be using this for live or no, we're droning. We're droning. Okay. Okay. I mean, we have a shield battery on the way. We're being forced into a Twilight Council opener instead for, I imagine, Glaive Adepts. Second shield battery on the way as well. So this is forcing a bit of an overreaction, but I still like MindelVK's position overall. Like, because he's going for a Twilight Council, should be counterattacking with Glaive Adepts momentarily, and I think he's going to be in a good place doing so. It's too early for this. My brain, it's my brain, it's going, Papi, it's going. Okay. Blink, ooh, Blink, not Glaives, interesting choice. So Blink is going to be on the horizon here for MindelVK. Meanwhile, Lair is being prioritized, so we go for the Lair instead of the Roach Warren, instead of the Baneley Nest. This could be for 2-base Muta, if we take additional gases. 2-base Muta is viable. We could just throw down a Roach Warren as the Lair is halfway done. We could just throw down that Roach Warren as it's halfway done to line it up with Roach Speed. That is also an option available here as well for EON. Meanwhile, we're just throwing down additional gateways. It's going to be 4-gate blink here out of MindelVK. He has no idea what's going on. He is in the dark. He saw the opener. He saw the expansion on the low ground. And yeah, we are spending a lot of resources here warping in and defending. And there it is. That is not 4-gate blink. That is going to be 6-gate blink stalkers. This is going to hit quite hard. This is going to hit like a truck. We're now basically going for a 2-base all-in ourselves. So MindelVK is going for a 2-base all-in. EON is going into a fast Hydra Den. Okay, no additional gases yet. We do typically need a third, maybe even a fourth gas to facilitate for Hydra. But Ling Hydra is actually going to do quite well against blink stalkers. If this was Glaive Adepts, I feel like EON dies. I'll be honest. Glaive Adepts, that would annihilate Ling Hydra so well. We've seen it happen plenty of times in the past when it comes to Miyamiko or others or players emulating Ling Hydra, and Adepts, they just have their way with that kind of army. We saw it recently, I think when casting Lambo, it was during ESL Open Cup Europe a couple of days ago. We're rushing into Lunker. Oh my, the Lunkers. This is crazy. Okay, we're not going Ling Hydra, we're going Ling Lurker. I mean, I still would have liked Ling Hydra against this. It does quite well against Stalkers, but the Lurkers are an interesting touch, and I don't know if we need that quite yet. There's a lot of resources being spent, and here we go, warping in 6 Stalkers at a time. We have a massive amount of army here. EON pushing through. Again, going for his own 2-base all-in. Ling Hydra to defend, but we don't really have too much to work with. 20 Lings are in production. The Hydras are exposed. We dive on top of the army. Hydras are being focused on one after the other. The Queen has got to go down as well. We're trickling out units again. EON needs more time. At the same time, Lings across the map. We needed them back at home. We needed those Lings to support the Hydras, and they're all going to go down. The Hydras, they fall one after the other. Lings are busting in, but we have Stalkers here to defend. We have plenty of Stalkers to defend back at home. Yeah, the Stalkers, they're breaking through on the front lines. Lings are coming in to reinforce. We're killing a couple of these Stalkers. But the final Hydra is focused down, and EON just doesn't have anything left here. He's trickling in with those Lings. Across the map, he is cleaned up. He is defended against. And again, his reinforcements, they take so long to get back across the map. The Ninja Base didn't really help too much. Which is why I was confused about the Ninja Base and why we didn't need it. It did force an all-in, I guess, but I mean, hey, we're all in and we killed the Natural. Natural does go down. And now we're making our way up into the main base. And what do we have to defend? We have a Queen. We have soon to be 2 more Hydras. Again, more Hydras on the way across the map. And it takes so long to reinforce. Boys are being pulled. Because they have to be. And MindelVK will break through the defensive line. We'll break through the oddity that was this game and this build. I'm still not entirely certain what happened. But let's go, Bobby. As 22 drones go down, we pick off the Hydras as well. We get into the base. GG gets called, and MindelVK takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. And yeah, with that, I mean, EON was cooking. Okay, I'll say that. he was cooking, Papi. He was cooking. But what exactly was he cooking is what I want to know. So what's concerning to me is that the response from MindelVK makes a lot of sense. And I'm concerned just because the other reaction from MindelVK would have been Glaive Adepts, right? Like going for a Twilight Council, going into Glaives. Like that just makes sense in my mind as a very safe response against something that looks like an all-in. So you'd be turtling up, you'd be building up your enforce, and if there's no all-in, then you can go all-in yourself. Which is what MindelVK did go for. Whether it was Blink Stalkers or Glaive Adepts, like he would be able to pop off. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit interesting that EON was macroing up and working towards those Lurkers. Again, interesting build, definitely interesting. Unfortunately, we weren't able to really get into those Lurkers in the end. We didn't quite get there. So a bit of a feels bad, man. But regardless, that is game 1 in the books. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. And this tells us, this shows us, this proves that we have no idea what the hell we're going to be seeing next. Like, it could be anything. Could be the Ninja Base into an all-in. Could be Proxy Hatch. Could be... I don't even know what to think it would be. Because I don't know. EON knows. And maybe he won't. We'll see. Let's go. Catching up with the chat. Where's Chase, Yaku, and Asher? Always alone, papi. Oh. Hello, Talima. Hello. I know Chase, Yaku, and Asher, they're busy. They're busy. I'd love to have a co-caster. I always say this. I always work best with a co-caster. Always. But Yaku's been focusing on his studies. Likewise, Asher's been focusing on other IRL commitments. And likewise, so has Chase. As they've been focusing on other things. But, you know, maybe we'll get them back on. I have Yaku going to be jumping on at some point in the coming weeks. I know that much for a fact. I know that much at least. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MindelVK. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the purple Zerg representing Team License to Kill LTK. It is EON. But yeah, basically I haven't been able to organize with the other casters since I've gone to Poland, but maybe I should. I probably should. I'll try and sort something out. I'll try to get a nice time for them to fill in, as we do send 2 drones across the map. Oh my god, going for a gas deal? Behind this, it is going to be a gas into spawning pool. EON will soon have enough for a hatchery. He should be going for a hatch block here at the natural. And the hatchery is on the way. Huh. Hatchery should be on the way. We're not getting the hatchery. We have the resources for it. We have the resources for the hatchery. We don't go for it quite yet, so we're going to be expanding back at home. Where do we throw it down? It's late. It's late. There it is. Hatchery finally on the way. Quite a delayed one. Zealot is already here, by the way. Oh, so not the most ideal proxy hatch here from EON. Is going to be eventually denied. Going for a double okay. Now this is something that I have not seen before. Okay, we're going for a double proxy hatch. One behind the wall, the other on the other. We're coming in from 2 angles here. We're sandwiching the wall with the hatcheries. Let's go. 2 hatcheries on the way. It's like a weird Protoss Zerg Oreo. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to be able to focus down the hatchery on the right hand side. I mean, this was the earlier hatchery, so it is very important that we do deny this. Ling's going to be coming across the map. Ling speed is prioritized. We do keep 1 drone into the gas, guys, which is interesting. As we're going for another hatchery, are we just droning from here? There's a cancel. There's the hatchery across the map. We are taking the natural. Lings are moving out, but only a handful of them. I'm still waiting to see the next production cycle. Do we make Lings or do we drone? We're droning. Okay. We are just droning. We're trying to force an overreaction. We do delay the expansion. We do force out 2 shield batteries. Did force a second gateway as well. Lings, they do try to slip in. And, ooh, we let the hatchery finish. I'm not too fond of this. But the hatchery does complete. Twilight Council is already on the way. The Council is on the way here for eventually Glaives or Blink. Even Charge. Hatch is going to be killed. We shouldn't get much done with the Broodlings, as we have plenty of shield batteries. And again, EON is droning up behind this. He's saturating his natural at least. We are making an extra pair of Lings. 8 more Lings on the way. Now these Lings are to defend against a counterattack. Like right now, EON, he is vulnerable to a counterattack. And if MindelVK moves out, we need Lings to defend. We need Lings to hold. As a couple Lings, they slip into the main base. We get a full scout up. And did we get eyes on the Twilight Council? Ooh, we didn't. Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. EON, he doesn't see the tech. He doesn't know if it's a Stargate or a Twilight Council. I mean, it could be a Stargate, it could be Void Rays, could be Sky Toss, for all EON knows. As he's going for a ninja base. What is happening right now? What is happening? Okay, so we have a ninja base on the way from EON once again. Now, I'm still a little bit concerned about the push. The eventual push that's going to be coming here, it's going to be either 4 or even 6 Scapeling Stalkers moving out across the map. And I'm concerned it's going to be a repeat of the last game. The ninja base, again, I don't see its necessity. I'll be honest, like, last game it made sense just because it was the ninja natural base to try to force a reaction. But he already forced a reaction with the proxy hatches this time. So now the reinforcements are going to be out of position. The base is going to be isolated. it does keep it safe in a way. It means that when the push does arrive, the third base is going to be kept safe and sound. But when the push arrives, then the natural is going to be exposed, and that's what we're going to be going for. So we'll see. We shall see. It's also a little bit more awkward to saturate a Maynard over to. Here we go. As EON, sorry, as MindelVK is moving out. As Mindel is moving out. EON is I see in the chat. As we do see MindelVK moving out. Behind this, going for a bait, going for eventually closest or disruptor production. As here we go, EON collapsing on the army, trying to get a full surround. It looks like he will. Oh, again, Blink Stalkers, they struggle against Mass Link. Sorry, he's a little bit distracted by the trap. We do get a surround, and we do shut down the Stalkers. Big overextension here by MindelVK, and this time EON, he did have an army. I was concerned he was going to be too greedy and drone up too much, but no, he shuts down the Stalkers, moving out across the map. And EON, he has some momentum. That was an expensive loss for MindelVK, and suddenly EON, he can drone. There we go, we have 5 more workers in production. We can apply pressure here to the natural waste. We shouldn't be able to bust in. We shouldn't be able to break through. I see in the chat, EON is also playing at 3 AM. He is playing at 3 AM, but this is how EON plays. Like it's true that EON he might be sleep deprived, but this is like EON. He is a very cheesy player, very aggressive. Oh, as we are getting a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything is okay. Now we can take kind of a moment to really embrace what is happening with this game. So EON, he's on 40 workers, and he is droning up a little bit further. He is taking gases and going for a lair. With 3 gases, this should be leading into a higher form of tech. Ling Hydra is definitely a possibility here based on what we saw last game. Mutas are going to be available, Hydras or Roaches. We'll see what is done once the lair is complete. Meanwhile, EON is still saturating the base. There we go, 8 more drones on the way. MindelVK stuck on 2 bases going for the Colossus. What's important, because all those Stalkers just died, MindelVK is stuck on 2 bases. Like, he cannot expand. It's going to be so difficult here. We have EON camping the left and right hand side. He's prepared here to deny any kind of nexus, any kind of base. So what do? We have 4 gateways. We're going up to 6 gateways, 4 for +1, and now we have to move out here to expand. But this is a very exposed army. The Lings can collapse on this if we had eyes on this. But EON a little bit too far back. He doesn't see the base. Now he does. Does see the Nexus, but now we have SimCity. The Colossus does arrive in time. Colossus does get here. Can we cancel the base? Oh, that's a kill. That's a kill on the Nexus, not a cancel. The base is going to be denied. Sentry's going to be focused down. We're going to clean up everything. The Colossus lives, sure. But the oh, we go for the Colossus? Okay. We clean up all the sentries as well. EON, and this is the ideal. He cleaned up Stalkers, cleaned up the sentry-based army as well, doing so much damage, trading so well, diving on top of the Colossus. No, we avoid it. We go for the sentries. Once again, we collapse on these sentries. The +1 melee Lings, they annihilate the army. And we can go for another surround on the Nexus. And that's going to be another cancel. A second cancel on the Nexus. Second Colossus has arrived. Finally, we can defend. Finally, we can expand. And now we have our answer. It wasn't Hydras. It was Roaches. Roaches are amassing back at home. We have +1 range. We have Roach speed as well. Third base getting fully saturated. Now we have a 4th on the way. And MindelVK has no idea what has been going on. Mindel has scouted the ninja base, by the way. He's aware of it, but he can't do anything about it. He is just stuck, is just being contained. Now, what's important here is that at least Mindel has established a 3rd. He has the 3rd base, and he will soon have 3 Colossi. He's hitting critical mass. From here, we can go into either disruptor production or immortal production. We can amass a death ball of an army and push out. We can do quite a lot with this. So MindelVK isn't out of this. EON is in control of the game, yes, but MindelVK still has a chance, especially with EON going for a Spire. I'm a little bit concerned about the Spire play, but we'll see. So here we go, we dive on the army. Lings, they do get cleaned up here. Roach is trying to break on through. They will shut down at least some of these zealots. They shut down the Zelts. We dive on top of the Colossus. The Colossus is, oh, barely should be going down. Oh, we keep it alive. The Colossus lives. Getting good movement here by MindelVK, but he loses the ground army. Only the Colossi does survive. Oh, and he wants it. The Riches, they want another Colossus. They're not going to get one. They do get the probes, though. 8, 9 probes going down. The Colossus overextending a little bit. We're up to 4. Oh, my God. 4 Colossi. The lasers, they rain down on the army here. 1 Colossus gets picked off. Just barely did overextend, but we get a kill on 23 workers. You may think EON is this too inefficient. It is a little bit inefficient by EON. He will lose everything, but he was able to maintain a solid army, a solid economy. 59 workers. He's remaxing, rebuilding. I assumed the Spire was for was for mutas, but no, it's for corruptors instead. Very old school, very hard of the swarm. Corruptors were once used in like Roach Hydra Corruptor based armies against Colossus back in Heart of the Swarm, and hey, we're back. Corruptors on the way. What do? They shoot up. What is up in the air? The mass Colossus. We have 3, soon to be 4 Colossi. That's exactly what the Corruptors are for. Let's go. EON still in control of this game, joining up to 61. Just 3 base saturation for now. Not joining up any further. Massing his army. Here's amassing his army. Big shout out to Darking in the chat. El Padrino of StarCraft. ¿Qué tal? Oh, yes. I see him. StarCraft is forever. Ah, less than 3, Papi. Less than 3. Hope you've been doing well, Papi. Hope you've been doing well. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Ojalá que todo te va bien. Darking, another fellow member of the community of StarCraft, as we do push in towards that natural base. Force fields are thrown down. We go for the Colossi, but I don't know if we have enough. We get 1. 1 Colossus does fall. And at the same time, we bust into the natural base. Lings and Roaches, they flood on into the natural. The Corruptors, they dive on top of the Colossus as well. We do pick off a 2nd, and soon to be a 3rd and a 4th. EON, he has done it. Even with these 0-0 Corruptors. Oh, he barely doesn't get the last Colossus. But a good trade nonetheless, as he did get 9 worker kills in the natural. Is going to be pulling back. Still amassing his army, joined up to 67. Just over 3 base saturation, taking extra gases. Going for the infestation bit, going for the hive. And EON, this has been a Frankenstein of a game. This has been very... has been very hard to read, but it's happening. He's doing it, Papi. 7 more Corruptors in production. Behind this, we can see MindelVK trying to transition out of Corruptors into Disruptors. Or out of Colossus into Disruptors, what I meant to say. Wise move. That does mean that these Corruptors are a little bit dead supply. They can't really do too much. They can kill the Colossus, they can caustic spray down buildings, but again, very limited in their uses when it comes to a main fight. Here we go, EON rotating around towards that natural once again. Knocks down the gateway. Floods in. Does flood into the main base with his Lings. And probes are going down. At the same time, we do collapse on the army. Nova goes off. Big connection on the Roaches. Big connection with the Nova. We take down the Colossus. The Corruptors, they can't do anything else. They have to turn back around, and it looks like Mindel will hold. As I say that, Lings did get into the main base. They do get a couple of probes. Corruptors, they go for the Nexus. Can they get a kill? Oh, Stalkers, they're focusing on the Corruptors. Yeah, there's not enough Corruptors. They are zoned away. Mindel down 10 workers, but he's building up that Disruptor count. And he's throwing down 2 more Robos. 2 more Robos on the way. We can get back into Disruptor production. Maybe even back into Colossus. Right now would be a good time to go back into Colossi just because we've reset the Corruptor count. It isn't as high as it once was. Brood Lords on the horizon, though. That is a greater Spire for EON. He's still barely droning, by the way. Like, he's still on 3 base saturation. He's still on 66 drones. But there we go. 9 more workers on the way. Throwing down some spine crawlers, throwing down some side defense. Mindel has been stuck at home. has been stuck at home here. And I mean, his upgrades are good. He has +3, for example. He's slowly building up. 4th base is on the way. If we get this 4th up running, then maybe we can hold on. The problem is the Broodlord. We don't have an answer. We do not have an answer for the Broodlords. We don't have scouting information. Middle, he has no idea what's going on as we go for the natural. The Corruptors, they come in. They get a kill on the Nexus. Big pick off there by EON. Takes down the natural, gets the hell out of there, gets eyes on all the robos. Is aware of the army, and should be feeling pretty good about himself. Like, what would we need against against Broodlords? We need either Sky Toss or a mass amount of Blink Stalkers, and we don't have either. We do not have either, and there it is. 8 Broodlords on the way. This is going to be the kill shot. This is going to be the killing blow that EON has been looking for. This is all he needs. We just see MindelVK pushing onto creep. Attempting to move out, so getting his 4th base up and running. But Lings and Roaches, they do slip in. They go for a robot, they go for a counterattack. Roaches are getting caught out, so we do clean this up. We don't actually get too much done here, but we do keep the army back at home. Here come the Broods. EON, he has maxed out. How many Broodlords? 8. 8 Broodlords. Decent amount of Roaches, decent amount of Lings. We're going straight for the natural, and the Broodlords, they can just cut off the army here at the ramp. We may just force a base trade. A base trade may be the only answer here. And maybe the only option. And Nova goes off, doesn't connect. We can see the Broodlords just zoning the army away. Oof. Oh, big Nova. Bit of an overextension there by EON. It does overcommit with the Roaches. More Nova's going to be going off. Big connections once again here. Oh my god, Mindel popping off with his Novas. But good kiting here with the Broodlords. That is all we really do need. Novas once again not quite connecting. And as long as we can kite, we do bleed out another one of these Broodlords. They're slowly going down. Oof. Oh my god. These Novas have been insane, but GG gets called. It's just too much. The natural was broken, and EON ties up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. Let's go. We are going to game number 3. I need a message, EON. Let's go. I just messaged EON. I was like, the hell did I just watch? He's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. He's like, bro, I don't know. Don't ask me to repeat it because I don't think I can. Ay, ay, ay. Este EON. Let's see, we go. We're getting into the ace match, into game number 3, and we are loading into Hard Lead. Hard Lead is going to be our final game for this best of 3. It all ends here. It all ends on one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Oh boy. There is a lot of potential here. Potential for aggression, potential for EON to do something crazy. Once again, I'm ready for it. Let's go. I see in the chat. Rebellion in the chat. What a Zerg player. Amazing. And here he is in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead. We have our favorite player in this series. We have the Red Protoss representing Storm Gaming being forced into the ace match. Can he bounce back? It is MindelVK. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the Purple Zerg, representing Team License to Kill LTK. It is EON. Forcing the ace match and having a very chaotic series so far. Some of it has kind of made sense. Some of it hasn't really made sense. And I mean, I even have confirmation from EON himself. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. His eyes, they will just roll back into his head and Jesus takes the wheel, papi, you know? He just does it by feeling. And I mean, it worked. You know, it worked out here in game number 2. Going for the double proxy hatch into a ninja base. He's an animal, papi. He's an animal. Let's go. Probe Scout is coming in. EON for the first time this entire series going for a standard opener, going Hatch Gas Pull. Hatch Gas Pull here from EON for the first time in a very long time. I've never seen it before. Standard play. He's crazy. He's lost his mind. And speaking of, a big shout out to Flipper Flapjack in the chat. Thank you so much. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the 150 bits. We hope you appreciate the content. Hope you appreciate the casting, the events as well. We are here live with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, of course. It is our open weekly tournament, and it's great to see players from all around the world rock up. I also should emphasize that we rarely get American or Latin American players because this is a really bad time zone for them, or really bad start time for them. So a shout out to EON. He's playing at 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. in the morning and he is competing. So a big shout out to EON. Latin American players and again players from the Americas of rarity in this event. So much love, much support. As we are droning up to 20, we're pulling out of gas. We have ling speed on the way. We have 6 lings in production as well, which is a pretty hefty amount of lings, but we're still droning. So we're not going for a ling flood, just have a presence on the map. Meanwhile, across the map, it is going to be a Stargate opener at a MindelVK. It is going to be standard play for both players, outside of the fact that EON did make extra lings. Make extra lings here, as the lings they are going to be slipping out across the map. Likewise, Probe does confirm the third base. Again, standard play out of EON. He's crazy. I say that, but he hasn't droned in quite some time. We're still at 22 workers. We have 8 more lings on the way. Are we going for a straight up ling flood? It looks like we are. This feels like a 22 drone ling flood here from EON. Adept does shade into the main. We do pick up a drone. 1 drone goes down. Good damage dealt so far. Lings, they get across the map. They try to work through that Adept. They get some whole damage done. But the Adept, it looks like it will survive just barely. Void Ray on the way. I'm concerned. Okay, so I'm concerned because it is not an Oracle, which means we have very limited DPS, or the DPS is quite low. The attack rate is quite low for the Void Ray, so killing a swarm of lings is quite difficult. Oracles can have a better time, but I guess it's a double-edged sword, right? Where Void Ray is consistent damage, Void Rays are consistent damage, Oracles are NG based, so they can run out. Lings, they do get across the map, they get in! Lings, they flood into the natural, the wall has been broken, and probes are going to be going down. No, we go for the pylon! We go straight for the pylon instead. The Adept does come out in time, just barely. Ooh, that was so close. Void Ray has arrived, but again, as you mentioned, it's so slow. It takes so long to get into the main base to actually get damage done on these lings. And EON gets 4 probe kills. He will be cleaned up. He should be dealt with. We do have a couple of Bailings on the way, but they have been spotted. Keen eyes there by MindelVK. He does get eyes on the Bailings. Will deny them, only losing 7 probes. It's a good amount of damage, but it could have been so much worse. As we do clean this up. Meanwhile, back at home, EON is going back to droning. He invested quite a lot into that ling flood, and it just wasn't fully worth it here just because he cut his own drone production. But now we're getting back into it. Second Void Ray has arrived. Bailings on the way as we speak. Gonna try to bust in. But now there are 2 Void Rays. They get 1, 2, 3, 4 Bailings. Only 2 connect. That is not enough. EON, he's still making lings. He's crazy. We don't need them. But what I will say is that with all these lings, we're denying a third. I mean, we can see here that's a full wall. We can't expand. MindelVK, he cannot take a third base. He's stuck here on 2 bases instead, fully walled off. And as a result, EON can be greedy and can drone. He isn't. He's still making lings, but you know, now we're droning and now we can focus on saturation. How many queens do we have? 3. Only 3 queens. Oh, this Oracle defense is going to be close. As the Oracle slips into the natural base and drones are getting picked up. We get 1, we get 2. We get 3 and then a 4th drone as well. We do lose the Oracle though. MindelVK overextending. Ay, that was not meant to happen. Again, there was so much potential. There's so few queens. The spores are just now finishing. The Oracle could have done so much more, but alas, the Oracle gets shut down. Meanwhile, at the same time, EON denies the hatchery, denies the Nexus. Or tries to. You can see EON being very active with those lings, ensuring that MindelVK does not expand, or has a hard time expanding. Behind this, EON is going to be re-droning. We do have a lair on the way. Oracle dips in, gets 1 drone. Only a single worker though. Much cleaner defense so far by EON. Lings, they want the base. They want the Nexus and they shouldn't get it. It's going to be close. It is going to be close, but yeah, Lings are going down. Ooh, that was a lot of Lings thrown away. 14 Lings. We have more. A little bit mistimed and oh, we're not going to get it. No. That was 24 Lings for nothing. We didn't deny the hatchery. We didn't deny the Nexus. Sorry, I keep saying hatchery. My brain. I'm still waking up. But we did not deny the base. We didn't kill any units whatsoever. And EON is in a rough place. He's down in workers, down in saturation. Again, he's been very tentative when it comes to droning, and he's been denied, or he just hasn't been able to trade as efficiently as he would have liked. Hasn't been worth it. As we see EON trying to go into Ling Hydra. Oracles, they get into the main. Get 3 more drones. They scout the Hydra, more importantly. Now Mindel knows that it is going to be a Hydra-based army, and we are going for a Templar Archives. Okay, it is going to be Storm. I imagine Storm, Archons, Charge Lots, all will be on the way. We're getting ready for the Hydras. Meanwhile, EON, it isn't just Hydras. We're going for a very fast Lurker Den. Lair Tech Lurkers on the way for EON. Let's go. Is going to be coming out. Again, very ambitious by EON, but if he's left alone, then he will be able to get away with it. Back at him, cannons on the way, shield batteries, MindelVK playing very scared. I don't blame him. EON has been hyper aggressive. That's causing MindelVK to be safer and invest quite a lot into his defenses more than he otherwise would. Again, all these cannons and shield batteries and gateways, it could have been a faster fourth. We could have seen a 4th base at this point to catch up. Could have seen a 2nd robo. Earlier production. As alas, Mindel is going to be stuck at home. Meanwhile, the Lurkers, they made it. We've arrived. Lurkers are being morphed in across the map. EON, ooh, has to traverse through a minefield or a stasis trap field. And it's not going to be easy. I feel like we're going to take some to the face. Uh-oh. Oh god, it's so close! No! Stasis does catch one of the Lurkers. The others, they will burrow in time. Storms get thrown down on the Lings. Get only one good Stasis, but a massive Storm on the Hydras. And again, EON losing ground here, or just losing so much steam. Takes down 2 of the Oracles. Lurkers are going ham, but we get the revelation and we can focus them down. Only 2 Lurkers. That's not going to be good enough. We have a 3rd Lurker. 3rd Lurker does pop out just in time. We focus down so many of those Stalkers. Not a bad trade out of EON. Not bad at all. Do you have another Oracle in production? No Robo, bear that in mind. No Observers. EON trying to rally across the map, but his reinforcements are so late. As Hydras go down, and EON will have to back off. He will retreat. There's that Robo for Observers. We have Oracles amassing. MindelVK holds on to his 3-base setup. And Mindel, he has a higher working count. He has the better economy. EON is being left in the dust. No 4th base. Or, I mean, we have a 4th, but no saturation at the 4th. We're still on 54 workers. We need to drone, papi. We need to drone. The problem is right now that EON, he's stuck between 2 worlds. One, yes, he does need to drone, but also, if he's too passive, then Mindel's going to get too far ahead. And Mindel, he will just run away with this. With the superior economy, that's very likely, so EON has to be aggressive. We have to push out, papi. We have to push out. Lurker is going to be burrowing. Big Storm here on these Hydras. Before we do deny the base, we force a cancel. Force a cancel on the Nexus. 9 probes go down. Good pick off here by EON. Doesn't lose too much. Did take a Storm, but didn't lose too many of his Hydras, and he will retreat. Behind this, Infestation Bit, Hive Tech, Vipers on the horizon. They are on the way for EON. Still barely at 60 workers. Going for a 5th. Taking another expansion. But again, the quality of Mindel's army is getting higher and higher. What I will say is that if we do get to critical mass of lurkers, this army doesn't really mean much. Like, Mindel can max out, and if we have a line of 10 lurkers, for example, then we should be okay. We should be able to hold on to a main push. So, EON, the name of the game right now is to survive. Survive, get into his 5th base, survive until Hive Tech, until Vipers, until lurker upgrades. And EON can make a game out of this. But there's a lot more pressure on EON than there is for MindelVK. Whereas Mindel, he's just happily, I mean, I say happily taking his 4th. It took a while to get here, but he's got his wall of cannons and shield batteries. 4th is now being taken. +3 is finishing up. Charge on the way. That lurker count getting higher and higher. How many lurkers do we have? Soon to be 11. Soon to be 11 lurkers. Rotating around. Gets a couple of tumors. Lings, they threaten to run by, but again, there's plenty of sack defense to defend. And the big thing we're missing here is Vipers. We have a Spire on the way. I imagine a safety Spire in case we have Sky Toss to get into Corruptors. Don't need the Spire yet. He's all rotating around, getting onto creep. Pushing it towards that linear 3rd. And again, he's got plenty of storms. How many High Templar? 5. 5 High Templar, each with at least 1. Some of them 2 storms. Spine just going up. And pushing up this ramp. Not going to be easy. Mindel looking for another way in. At the same time going for a Stellar run by. He runs into some lurkers. Runs into EON. His entire army towards the right-hand side. EON, he does reciprocate. What kind of army do we have? 11 lurkers, 27 Hydras. I would like more Lings, personally. I feel like more Lings would be ideal here. Hive is done. We have our upgrades on the way. Adrenal is still missing. So you see EON once again keeping up with the rotations, looking to max out. Now finally joining up quite nicely, getting up to 79 workers. Prism steps in. Doesn't quite get the warp in there. EON keeping up. Ooh, big storm here on the Hydra. Oh my god. Whew. Does soften the Hydras up. Mindel rotating towards the south. We have a late rotation here from EON. He's late to the party. Gets an Archon. Decent storm on the Hydras. Spine Crawler was taken out. At the same time, a big Zealot Cannon Tech on the right-hand side. EON being pulled apart. Having a hard time defending. Does respond with a lot of his lurkers. Yeah, that means he is vulnerable here on the left-hand side. But he is holding. Mindel still amassing a greater immortal army. Pushing towards the center. Once again, EON late to respond. He was a bit late to respond here. One lurker goes down. We get a second lurker as well. Where's the support? Where are the Hydras? The Hydras, they're in the main base. The Corruptors as well. The Corruptors, they will not help against this. And big losses here for EON. Losing 20 drones and a lot of those lurkers. Yeah, that's 7, 8 lurkers getting picked off. That was his army. That was the backbone to his army. Doesn't have them. Not anymore. But he does catch some of these Immortals. Big pickoffs. Picks off 3 Immortals. And what is better than the lurker? The Brood Lord, Papi. Here we go. We rushed into the Greater Spire. Brood Lords are coming out. And Immortals, they will do nothing against this. We are producing 2 Immortals at a time. Mindel not ready for this kind of tech. Does get a kill. Gets a kill on the hatchery. EON moving forward. Ooh. Storms going down. Decent storms on the Lings, but the Broodlords have been revealed. And here we go. EON, he has to go now. He has to go for it. He has to go for it. He has to send it before MindelVK can respond. Good storms on the Hydras. But again, EON, he has momentum with the quality, with the composition of his army. Hitting that center base. Next is going to go down. And MindelVK, we're going for a base trade. We cannot engage with the Broodlords. It's not going to happen. So we're going for a big base trade instead. Center base goes down. EON pushing forward. Moving out towards that natural. We do have some high tempo, but where are the storms? We need time. We need more time. Storms are not ready. It's a high tempo. They retreat back into the main. At the same time, MindelVK going for the natural. He gets it. Natural base goes down, pushing in towards the main. The tech is looking exposed. And can EON afford a couple of corruptors? There it is. Sorry, a couple of broodlords. 2 more broodlords on the way. The hive will soon be falling. Breaking into the natural, but enough time has passed, and these high Templar, they have storms. They will soon have storms. 1 each. 4 storms all up in total. And it's going to be a tough attack here for EON. Contaminates the Stargate. Let's go. Delaying the Void Ray. We're breaking in. And this is it. Can Mindel hold here? That's 2 storms spent on the corruptors. Not ideal. We do have 2 more storms left. 2 storms remaining. Meanwhile, the base is going down. EON, we need another building, by the way. We need a hatchery. Void Ray rallies it to its death. Corruptors breaking in. Again, we still have 2 storms available. We can't recall. MindelVK, he's got a base towards the bottom left. Meanwhile, drones are being evacuated. We can see the Stalkers. They try to flank the Broodlords, but it's not going to happen. The Stalkers go down. We collapse here on the High Templar. The storms are not good enough. And the main base has been broken. Big win here for EON. At the same time, we do see one of the final mining bases being poured out. Drones are going down. EON, where's that hatchery? We need one. There it is, top right. EON, he's taking top right. Stalkers maneuvering towards the left-hand side. Broodlords need to be careful. They're looking a little bit exposed. Void Rays are trying to catch them. They come across some of these Broodlords. 1 Broodlord goes down. A big pickup, but we catch the Voids. Stalkers are coming in. Oh. Saving the Void Rays. Again, these Broodlords are exposed. No, if 1 goes down, we get 1, we get 2. Big pickups. We could even get a 3rd and 4th. EON, a bit of miscontrol here with his army. Bleeding out even more Broodlords. Yeah, he could have taken a fight, but now I'm not so sure. Now I'm not so sure. As Mindel, he does come across these lurkers with the Stalkers. Can focus them down. Oh my god, so much damage being dealt though. The lurkers, they hold their own for a time until the revelation. And now we can clean them up. We don't quite come across top right yet, but there we go. Do end up checking. Do rotate over. The hatchery has been found. EON, he's down to 1 mining base. He has lost all of his tech. MindelVK has got 2. He has 2 bases at this point. One of them mining, the other not so much. Again, imagine this with 4 more Broodlords, then maybe we can hold. I mean, we still can. It's going to be close. Another Nexus on the way. I like this from Mindel. Like, he doesn't have to push in. There's no reason to push in. He just has to take more bases, get his economy up and running. He has map control. EON doesn't. There we go. We do pick up the spawning pool. Spawning pool goes down. Thankfully, we have another one. We have a backup spawning pool. Up and running. We're rotating around, pushing towards that 3rd. Just clearing up some creep. He's not committing. Again, there's no reason for MindelVK to commit. Both players have broken free from the supply blocks. Now, the problem here is that because EON only has 1 base, if he tries to move out, and the Observer does spot the army, if he tries to move out towards bottom left or top right, he will lose everything. What I mean by that is that he will lose this base. The base will fall. MindelVK will go for the base trade and will punish his opponent for moving out. So EON is stuck. He's stuck here, and as he moves out, we can move in. Does engage with the army. But again, Mindel just has to split off a portion of his army to go for a backstab. As EON does push up the ramp. Ooh. Yeah, big storm almost takes down one of the lurkers. The base is being denied. They're at least doing that. Big revelation on the army. Oracle almost goes down. There is the one observer across the map. And you can see here, MindelVK rotating around. Catching a Broodlord. He gets one, he gets two Broodlords again. Getting caught out. 3 Broodlords go down. Not like this. EON bleeding out too many units. And Mindel, he's coming in. He's coming in for the kill. At this point, there may just not be enough Zerg. We're down to 2 Broods. Mindel's just going to be pulling back. Just going to be chilling. Rotating back around, leading with the storms. Oh, and juicy connections here on the Hydras. Does soften them up, gets them down to half HP. Pushing on forward. We do have a big link counterattack here towards the bottom left. Big link counterattack. But again, I feel like MindelVK can just break through this. Going for the recall. Okay. EON making some moves happen. Forces the recall. Gets 19 probes. Can maybe come across these Archons. Ooh. That's a lot of links going down. A lot of links getting shaved off. As the center base is going to be denied. EON just unable to expand. Unable to get another base up and running. And Mindel, again, outside of like a blundered attack where he doesn't have protection, he should be okay. Big revelation here on the lurkers once again. The choke point is brutal. The lurkers, they do a lot of damage. We managed to get a couple of these immortals. But there's still just so much on the ground. We blink on forward. We dive on top of the army. Focus firing every single one of these lurkers and broodlords. Boys are being pulled. And Mindel, he has done it. He's broken through. It was a wild game. Back and forth. Could have gone either way. But MindelVK, he will take the series here. Went all the way to the ace match. Went the distance. But it will end here. Storm on the production. GG gets called, and MindelVK takes the series 2-1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations to MindelVK. That was not an easy one. It was back and forth. EON was chaotic. He was crazy, Pop. He was crazy. But in the end, Mindel, he came out on top. He was able to overcome the chaos that was EON. GG. GG, well played with that. MindelVK advances on into the quarterfinals, and we have quite a number of updates. We have quite a number of updates available here. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves.